What should you charge for your coaching programs or products or services? How much can you make in a month? These questions are valid questions, but they do something that most new coaches don't realize. They set us up to focus entirely on income. And you may notice that this makes a subtle contraction or heaviness in the body, in the mind. That is a big clue. And I've seen so many natural, amazing, beautiful coaches sabotage and derail just because their attention is on the question, how do I make money, instead of how do I make meaning? I've also seen coaches completely transform their careers from struggling and feeling lost and stuck, going through endless months of faffing on fonts, trying to choose what font to use for the brochure and the website, instead of realizing that this one mindset shift can make all the difference. And when I've seen coaches make this mindset shift, which I had to do myself years and years ago, everything just opens up. This is your Master Coach Monday, where every week I scan through my many decades of working as a master coach, as well as training natural coaches and leaders around the world, to find that one useful nugget, that one tool or teaching that can make a difference in your life, helping you to make a living, making a difference. So when we are focused entirely on making money, which of course is natural, right? I know as a coach, I struggled for many, many years with unblocking my understanding of money. And it took a lot of digging in my wisdom well to get clear seeing around what money really is and how it can actually serve our purpose, for me to free this. So what you might notice, and I just really invite you to experiment with this, is that these thoughts and these focus points, like I need X amount of income every month, how do I make more? What is my product worth? And when we focus on this outcome of financial value, it may cause a contraction in your mind and heart, which blocks our flow. It blocks our ability to see clearly and to be clear. It holds back the river of our own natural expression. One simple shift, literally taking that focus and diverting it to a new focus, which is to say, it's not wrong to focus on money, of course, and it's very natural. But notice what happens when we switch from how do I make money to how do I create meaning, which means that instead of saying I need X amount of income every month and worrying about that and stressing about that, we start to focus on the people that we're serving, and we ask ourselves, what do they need? They need X, Y, and Z. They need certain amount of income. They need certain solutions. They need certain peace of mind. And instead of how do I make more for myself, if we start to switch to how do I create more for others, more for the people that I want to serve, instead of how much is my product worth, and I think my service is worth X amount, and then spending so much time comparing our products to other people's programs, which of course gives us research, it gives us an understanding of what the industry expects, which is fair enough. But for a lot of coaches, I've seen that this gets them really stuck. Instead, if we switch to how do I make my product worth the amount that I would like it to be worth, so that I can multiply my income streams and so that I can also deliver a lot more value every month, Can you see the difference? So if you're like me, purpose is a really important word. And for many of the coaches and the leaders, the healers, the consultants that I serve, purpose is a non-negotiable. We want to make sure that what we're doing in our life is meaningful, that makes us feel fulfilled and satisfied. It's a way of honoring our truth. And what we don't want is we don't want to put our head on our pillow at night feeling like we were taking more than we were giving, or that our work was empty. And what we don't want it to be empty of is meaning. So purpose and meaning often have similar meanings. The thing is, we tend to focus as coaches, as those of us that feel like we are here to guide in some shape or form, we tend to focus a lot on our own sense of purpose, on liberating that. And that's wonderful. It was hugely significant in my own life when I spent time doing exactly that. But it's not enough to only free our own sense of meaning and purpose. We need to find that sweet spot that makes business flow naturally when our own sense of purpose resonates with the people that we want to serve, so that we have meaning and that we are creating something meaningful for others, which means that it's valuable to us and it's valuable to them. Now, a lot of beautiful coaches that I've worked with over the decades put in a lot of time and effort into certification and skills, so they get the skills they need to be able to deliver meaning and to translate their sense of purpose into a career path. But where they get stuck is now it's time to start turning this into a business. It's time to start turning this into income streams. And they choose to follow, because it's a loud voice in the world, the narrative of pick a niche, perfect a product at your desk, and promote it. And if you've been around my content, you've seen that I share often that this is a major barrier. And one of the reasons it's a major barrier is because if we're trying to do this at our desk and we're trying to pick a niche, then perfect a product, we get stuck in our own heads and we really are quote unquote guessing, instead of what I talk about a lot, which is instead of decide. Wisdom has showed me to switch the word decide with discover. So instead of decide on a niche, what if we're willing to discover the pockets of people that are waiting for us to play a meaningful role in their lives? What instead of deciding on a product, we are willing to discover what products are meaningful for the people that we discover along the way. So in a state of discovery, with an attitude of discovery, if we also now switch from focusing on how much can I make to how much value can I provide for people, and package that into a product that I'm willing to discover and refine and experiment with, starting small, sapling size small. Nothing in nature leaps into a big, fully grown form without first earning its way into growth. So we start intentionally small. That's meant to be a little sapling. Okay, okay, let's give it a little leaf, shall we? A little sapling. We start intentionally small. A small Zoom, a small talk, a breakfast, where we put ourselves in rooms with pockets of people that we care about or that we're interested in discovering Are these people the kind of people that my purpose resonates with? Where there is a connection between who I am and the skills and knowledge I have and what I want to bring to the world. And then instead of what is my product worth and how do I extract money from these people to pay my bills, we switch to how do I create meaning for these people? How do I pack as much value as I can into even my little sample sapling size talk, even my little sampling sapling size, gosh, say that 3 times fast, breakfast or experimental service, which is why in the beginning we lower the value on purpose. We make something free or cheap because we are still in a state of learning and discovery. The truth is, and perhaps no one tells you this, is that we don't know yet. And part of building a beautiful, successful, impactful, purposeful coaching business that sings the song of your soul, that is also profitable, is being willing to live in a place of I'm not sure, which goes together with I'm willing to discover. I'm willing to put myself in a room where there are people that I'm genuinely interested in figuring out if I can serve them. And I don't know yet, and that's okay. And I don't need to pretend that I do know. And neither do I need to make myself smaller and insignificant. So you stand in your dignity, you stand in your apple tree purpose, apple tree being a symbol for our true natural selves. You trust your apple tree knows how to make apples given half a chance. And you put yourself in spaces with small amounts of people, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 at a time. And then you focus on switching from your value and your meaning and your purpose to what is meaningful for them. I would even suggest become obsessed with how to serve at the highest, which doesn't mean knocking yourself with self-doubt. It means being willing to discover what do the people in front of me genuinely find valuable. What is the most meaningful thing for them right now? What matters to these people? What makes them stressed at night, worried? Where are they struggling? Where are they suffering? Yes, alliteration. Did you spot it? And then you're creatively co-creating. How can I possibly find the skills, find the services, find the collaborations to meet these people at their place of need? And then, in the spirit of invitation, invite them to discover with you whether there is a good fit between you as a coach, a mentor, a guide, and them who has this problem, who has the struggle, who is seeking a certain kind of solution. Now, a few key words to help you to focus on what really does create meaning for people. The kind of meaning that is perceived as valuable so that people say, yes, this is worth my hard-earned income. This is worth putting money on the table. Not just something that I think is beautiful at a distance or that is worth a little curiosity, but you want to create the kind of meaning and value that people are willing to commit time, effort, and their hard-earned money towards. I mean, isn't that how we really serve? So here are a couple of, yes, alliterated keywords. People see value in something when it is specific, not vague. They don't want us to say that the thing that we're bringing them is going to help them to feel fulfilled, when the word fulfilled is so vague. What is the word happiness to one person compared to the word happiness to another? So we do want to listen for the specific needs, the specific meaning, and to use their words. As coaches, we know that we build bridges to people when we use their words, when we don't substitute with our words. So if somebody says that they're looking for happiness, we don't swap the word out for satisfaction or fulfillment. If somebody says they're wanting to be free, we don't swap that word for having options. We listen to these people. We become really focused on these people. And if you try this out with one pocket of people, one group of people, and you realize it's just not resonating, it's not working, guess what? You swap for another group and another group until you have 2 or 3 reliable groups of people that you know resonate with your purpose and that they have responded well to the experimental sapling-sized products that you put on the table. Other than listening for specific, you also look for significant, which is the kind of thing that is not just considered casual curiosity. What do those people really place as high value? In other words, it's a priority. It's not something that they think, oh, that's very nice, but there are 10 other things that are more important right now. It needs to be highly significant. You need to also listen for, and it is best that we get attuned to what people are actually looking for. A lot of folks that I've worked with, amazing coaches, unfortunately create products that need to be explained, programs, solutions that are complex or academic, that just aren't what people are looking for. And it's really like trying to shout into the wind. When we believe in something so beautiful that we've formed in our mind that seems to come from our sense of purpose, but if we haven't bridged that to value and meaning for people, we just aren't heard. People may nod and smile. They may politely say, that sounds lovely. But when it's time to actually commit, put money on the table, put time and effort, they'll say, oh, thank you, but no, because it's either not specific enough, it's not significant enough, or it's not something they're actively looking for, which means you may need to go find people that are looking for it and make sure that there are. Now, this is also something that I keep teaching, and hopefully you'll hear this if this is for you to hear. The thing that we love, the work that we love, is often inner work. We love transformational work. We love helping people grow. We love people having those aha moments, those epiphanies when we have facilitated understanding, transformation, and healing. True? But those keywords don't work well in what I call the shop window of how we design product. And one of the reasons is that people they may be looking for healing, they may be looking for transformation, but those are often vague words, aren't they? They are looking for things that are more significant and more specific. So what often works is to realize that the deep, meaningful inner work is probably going to happen anyway. But it may not be the packaging. It may not be the thing that we put in the shop window. We want to put in the shop window the very specific, significant, searched for solutions, gosh, yes, that people are actually looking for and that people find high value. That, if it's clear and if that's in our shop window, the titles, the headings, the way we describe our service, we're going to draw people's attention and they're going to go, wow, that is something useful to me. And here's something that I've learned. You put something useful in the world, something that has high value and meaning for people, but they hear and they sense the way you bring that to the world. Just like you can have dozens of people offering the same solution, but we all offer it through the music and the song of our presence, through our unique way of delivering our purpose. And don't underestimate the power of that. People will feel I resonate with you or not. And that's great because there's a big buffet out there and we want people to feel that connection with us. The meaningful work for us, the inner work that we want to do, it's going to happen anyway. It's going to happen once that person has started the journey with you. So for example, and I'm not suggesting that everybody be business coaches, but business coaching, executive coaching, coaching that links to career, that links to the high value solutions in the world. Once somebody's on that kind of path with us, they end up bumping into their inner obstacles, their procrastination, their self-worth, their sense of identity. They're looking for purpose. And that's where we get to do the delicious work that makes our heart sing, that makes us feel like we're doing more than to-do list coaching. So we've provided useful value. We've packaged a product that speaks highly to people's sense of what's significant for them, what specifically are they looking for. And now instead of how do I earn X amount of money, how do I make a product that's worth X, we go the other way around. How do I build something that is extremely valuable for people? And how do I put even more value into it? Well, we do that by building things that people see is valuable, and then we deliver that value. So in the beginning, you start sapling small and you over-deliver. You don't over-promise, we over-deliver. So we undercharge at first until we grow in confidence, till we learn and discover what people genuinely need. We refine and polish and we master our skills in delivering that kind of value. Every time we give that little talk, every time we give that workshop, every time we do that chemistry session to figure out if our coaching is a fit for someone, every time we put ourselves in rooms with pockets of people, we're willing to discover, what does this person need? What else can I bring to the table? And then slowly or fast for some, the value of what we offer naturally rises. And then we can start asking ourselves, here's a number that I would love to earn for my business, my apple tree, purposeful business. And then instead of the fear and the Pac-Man sort of grabbing, you remember Pac-Man? How do I earn that? Instead, it's become an aspirational number that we can go, how do I create that much value? How do I create that much value? If I want to earn 6 figures, 7 figures in a month, imagine the challenge of, instead of how do I earn that kind of money, grab, stress, switch it into how do I create that much value in a month? The artistry of that, the creative challenge of that, the inspiration of How do I make that much impact in someone's life or in a group of people's lives that it is worth that amount of money? So switch from how do I make money to how do I create and make meaning, and see the difference. And that's what I wish for you on this Master Coach Monday.